I always believed my son, Ethan, would take care of me the way I took care of him. But life has a cruel way of shifting the ground beneath your feet. It happened on a quiet Sunday morning. I was sitting at the kitchen table, folding laundry, humming to myself, when Ethan walked in with a strange look on his face. His wife, Kayla, stood behind him with her arms crossed, her expression cold. "Mom," Ethan said, rubbing the back of his neck, "we need to talk." My heart tightened. Those 4 words never lead anywhere good. I smiled softly. "Of course, sweetheart. What's wrong?" He didn't sit. He didn't even look me in the eyes. "Mom, things are getting tight around here. And," he glanced at Kayla. She finished the sentence for him. "You can't live here anymore." My breath caught in my throat. What do you mean?" I whispered. "You need more help," Kayla said flatly. "And honestly, we can't afford to have you here." I looked at Ethan, searching for some sign that this wasn't happening. But he wouldn't even raise his head. "Mom," he said quietly, "you should move into a senior facility. It's safer." "Senior facility? Safer?" I cooked their meals. I babysat their kids. I paid half the bills without them ever asking. And now, they wanted me gone? My voice shook. "Did I do something wrong?" Kayla sighed dramatically. "It's not about wrong. It's about what's best." Best for who? Certainly not for me. I felt the room spinning. 38 years of raising him, nursing him when he was sick, staying up all night when he had nightmares, working double shifts to pay for his college, and now he couldn't look me in the eye while he pushed me out. I nodded slowly, trying to keep my composure. When do you want me to leave?" Kayla answered immediately. "By next week." Next week? Not even time to breathe, to think, to understand. Ethan whispered, "Mom, please don't make this harder." I swallowed the pain, forcing a small smile. "I would never make things hard for you." I went to my room, shut the door gently, and sat on the edge of the bed with tears sliding down my cheeks. Not because they wanted me gone, but because I knew something they didn't. Something I had kept hidden for 2 years. And now, I had no choice but to face it. But the real heartbreak began the moment I picked up the envelope hidden in my nightstand. The envelope that held the truth I hoped Ethan would never have to know. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the small beige envelope tucked inside my nightstand drawer. My hands shook as I pulled it out. I had prayed I'd never have to open it again. I had prayed even harder that Ethan would never have to read what was inside. But now, he was kicking me out of his home, the home I helped him buy. And I had nowhere to go. I slid my thumb under the seal and opened it slowly. Inside were 3 papers. The first was a hospital report. The second, a doctor's letter. The third, the hardest to face, a diagnosis. Stage 2 breast cancer. 2 years ago, the doctor had recommended surgery and treatment immediately. But at that same time, Ethan had lost his job. Kayla was pregnant. Bills were piling up. My family needed me. And so, I did what mothers do. I put myself last. I postponed treatment. I never told Ethan or Kayla. And I worked part-time to keep their home afloat while quietly praying the pain in my chest would disappear. It didn't. I ran my fingers over the doctor's note. Delaying treatment may cause the cancer to progress. A cold wave washed over me. It probably had progressed. I just hadn't gone back to check. A knock on my bedroom door pulled me out of my thoughts. "Mom?" Ethan's voice. I quickly slid the envelope under my pillow and wiped my eyes. He stepped inside, looking uneasy. "I didn't want it to be like this." "I know," I whispered. "It's okay." But he didn't hear the disappointment in my voice. He didn't see how deeply this cut me. "What are your plans?" he asked softly. "I'll figure something out." He nodded, but he didn't say, "Stay." He didn't say, "Let me help." He didn't say, "You don't have to go." Mothers hear what their children don't say louder than what they do. When he left the room, I finally broke down. Silently. Painfully. That night, I called the senior facility he mentioned. They had 1 room left. Small. Cold. Far from everything I loved. But it was the only place I could go. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, while Ethan and Kayla were at work and the kids were at school, I began packing my things into 2 old suitcases. Halfway through folding my clothes, I felt a sharp pain in my chest, stronger than usual, and had to sit down. I pressed my hand against my ribs, breathing through the ache. "I'm running out of time," I whispered. Part of me wanted to tell Ethan the truth. But the other part, the mother part, didn't want him to feel guilty for pushing me out. He didn't know? Because I never let him know. And that was the mistake that was about to change everything. Because the next day, right as I was leaving the house for good, Ethan found the envelope I thought I had hidden forever. The next morning felt heavier than any morning in my life. I stood by the front door with my 2 old suitcases, staring at the place I had called home, the place I had helped build, the place I thought I would grow old in. But I didn't cry. Sometimes heartbreak becomes too deep for tears. I left a small note for Ethan on the kitchen table. Take care of yourself and the kids. I'll be okay. Love, Mom. The house was silent as I stepped outside. The air was cold. My chest ached more than usual, but I pushed through it. I dragged my suitcases down the driveway and waited for the rideshare car that would take me to the senior home. But 10 minutes passed. Then 15, and the car didn't arrive. Instead, the front door of the house swung open. Ethan stood in the doorway, and in his hand was the envelope. My heart dropped straight to my feet. He wasn't supposed to find it. I thought I hid it. I thought I protected him from the truth. But there he was, holding the one thing that explained everything. Mom, he whispered, walking toward me, what is this? I froze. The wind carried the sound of my shallow breaths. Where did you find that? I managed to ask. It fell from your pillow when I was making your bed, he said softly. I thought it was bills or something. But then I saw the hospital logo. I closed my eyes. I never wanted him to know this way. Why didn't you tell me? His voice cracked. How long have you been hiding this? 2 years, I whispered. He looked like the world had stopped spinning. Like he couldn't breathe. 2 years. Mom, why? His voice broke into pieces. Why would you go through this alone? I swallowed hard, trying to keep my voice steady. Because you lost your job. Kayla was pregnant. You were drowning in bills. I didn't want to add more weight on your shoulders. He slowly shook his head, tears filling his eyes. You're my mother. It's my turn to take care of you. A painful spasm hit my chest, and I grabbed the edge of the suitcase to steady myself. Ethan stepped closer. Mom, does it hurt? Are you okay? We need to get you to a doctor. It's okay, I whispered. This isn't your burden. You have a family. You have responsibilities. You are my family, he said firmly, voice shaking. The look on his face, the panic, the guilt, the realization that he had asked a cancer patient to leave his home. His whole body trembled. He touched my arm gently. Mom, please don't go. Come inside. We'll figure this out. I'm so sorry. I felt my throat tighten. I wanted to believe him. But heartbreak doesn't heal in a single apology. Still, I let him guide me back into the house. Inside, he sat me at the table, holding the papers with trembling hands. This changes everything, he whispered. And it did. But he didn't know that the worst part wasn't the diagnosis. It was the update inside the envelope he hadn't seen yet. The one that said, stage progressed. Immediate treatment strongly recommended. And when Ethan finally unfolded that last page, his reaction was something I will never forget. Because it wasn't just fear. It was the sound of a son realizing he might lose his mother forever. Ethan held the last page of the envelope like it was made of fire. His lips trembled as he read the updated diagnosis, his eyes moving slowly, painfully, across the doctor's words. Then he looked at me. Not with anger. Not with disappointment. But with a fear so deep it made my heart crack. Mom, he whispered, voice breaking, you're stage 3. I nodded softly. And you are going to move into a senior home, like this? Alone? I didn't answer. My silence was answer enough. He covered his mouth with his hand, his shoulders shaking. I had seen my son cry maybe 3 times in his entire life. This time wasn't quiet. This time hurt him. Why didn't you tell me? He whispered again. Because I didn't want you to feel guilty, I said gently. You were struggling. I didn't want to be another burden. He shook his head so hard it looked painful. Mom, you're not a burden. You're everything to me. I placed my hand over his. You're a father now. A husband. You have responsibilities. You're my first responsibility, he said. Before anything. Before anyone. In that moment, something in him shifted. I had seen Ethan as a little boy, a teenager, a young man. But now, he looked like someone who finally understood what love truly costs. He pulled a chair close and took my hands. I need you to listen, he said softly. You're not going anywhere. Not to a senior home. Not to another place. You stay here. With me. With your family. A tear rolled down my cheek. Kayla doesn't want me here, I whispered. He looked down, ashamed. That's my fault. I should have stood up for you. I didn't, and I'm sorry. At that exact moment, Kayla walked into the room. She froze when she saw the papers on the table. Then she looked at Ethan's red eyes. And at my trembling hands. What's going on? She asked quietly. Ethan didn't raise his voice. But every word shook the room. Mom has cancer, Kayla. Stage 3. And we almost sent her away. Kayla's hand flew to her mouth as she gasped. Oh my God, she whispered. I didn't know. No, Ethan said firmly. We didn't ask. We didn't care enough to notice. Kayla sat beside me, tears forming. Why didn't you tell us? She whispered. Because mothers protect even when it hurts. But I didn't say that out loud. I wanted you to live your life without worrying about me, I said softly. Kayla grabbed my hand gently. Your family. We want you here. Please, stay. There was genuine regret in her eyes. And that softened something in me. Ethan took a deep breath. Mom, I'm taking time off work. We're getting you the best treatment. I don't care what it costs. I won't lose you. A warmth filled my chest, not the kind that hurt. But the kind I thought I'd never feel again. Love. Real love. Not perfect, but real. Ethan pulled me into a tight hug. I felt his tears on my shoulder. My kids need their grandma, he whispered. I need my mom. And for the first time in a long time, I let someone take care of me. Because sometimes, children forget the sacrifices their parents make. Until life forces them to see the truth. And sometimes, it takes almost losing a mother to finally understand her worth.